The Blue Jays climb to the top of the standings starts right now. Welcome to Off the Roster, brought to you by our founding partner, Proline. Having split loyalties during the tournament makes things way more interesting. Now you can back all your teams with an exclusive split loyalty parlay. You can bet from Proline. Download the new app today. Thank you for joining us on this Friday, July 17th. I'm Lindsay Dunn alongside Dan Riccio and Cabbie. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone in the chat on YouTube right now. Make sure to like that stream or Andy will come after you in the chat.
He will fight you.
He will fight you. He's come into the studio today feisty. He was dropping F-bombs.
He will roundhouse kick you in the face like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
For the audio audience, Lindsay Dunn is in here like a green check mark, bringing immaculate spring summer vibes with a almost highlighter green outfit, matching earrings. Are you taking style notes from Keith Pelly, matching the accessories with the main outfit, or is that?
I realize he's got some too far. He's got some.
That might be too far. I'm not gonna lie. That might be too far.
My fault.
You know what? I do appreciate, though, he does match the glasses to like whatever team he is supporting. And today I'm matching Proline. I just realized that right now when I looked at the theme and aesthetics of our show. So you know what, Proline? This is for you. Also, we are a green, black, and white show is the theme of our show. So I guess I should have went with that.
I'll just continue wearing black T-shirts. It's fine.
That's all right. Before we started, we've already decided that he's the Simon Cowell of the show. If you've ever seen American Idol, that he would just wear.
I did not agree to that.
That's David Beckham. You have to be like, you're utter trash. I can't do accents. I'm sorry. You just have
Please don't ever do a British accent ever again, Lindsay.
Dan has no Botox, so that's the one difference between him and Simon Cowell. Dan's face is regular. He has a normal face.
Yes, very, very regular.
That's meant as a compliment, too.
Yes,
very much a compliment.
Yeah, you took it as a compliment, right?
I am natural. This is fully natural, yes.
And it's spectacular.
I'm sure it is. We can leave it right there.
Oh my God! I didn't mean to go there.
Off the rails.
It is a What the Bleep Friday, so anything goes.
We have some What the Bleep stories that will be coming up later in the show surrounding the World Cup, the Blue Jays, the Leafs. There's some doozy headlines out there right now. But let's start with the Jays rather, because I'm being optimistic about something that I don't truly believe will happen. And no, I'm not talking about
that makes you not optimistic.
I know.
Circular way to...
I was like, I'm trying to sugarcoat this, but the Jays,
yes.
Major League Baseball, obviously, including the Toronto Blue Jays, announced their schedule for next season. The Blue Jays will have the earliest home opener they've had.
Wow, Lindsay's already given up on the Blue Jays.
No,
she's already talking about 2027.
I'm still in this, but they will start their season off on the road March 25th, taking on the Yankees. But what I took out of this is there's not going to be a lockout next year. See, I'm taking this as such a positive moment, Maybe. That's not how you read into that. No.
The timing is so weird. Why are they releasing it so early? Maybe it is to get ahead, to have some positive vibes coming out of All-Star Weekend, or knowing that there's an impending lockout coming. That's just strange. All the other leagues, we see it mostly in the NFL. There's a legit marketing budget to have these incredible schedule release videos, and no, hockey has dipped its toe in it. We'll get to that later, but strange timing releasing the schedule in the middle of the schedule for the upcoming season in the middle of the current season. There's a whole off season for that big fella. Weird. Very weird. Yeah,
it's weird. And when we speak about opening, we have an opener for the Toronto Blue Jays today as they're back in Toronto for the first time in a couple of weeks. Spencer Miles will be on the mound tonight as they host the Chicago White Sox.
AL Central leading Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, have they had a...
They've had a bit of a surprise season. They got a couple of good pitchers on the mound this weekend too. And
a lights out rookie who just hitting bomb after bomb, just launching into the atmosphere.
Murakami or Okamoto, who is the better Japanese rookie?
I'm a big O because I'm biased. I adore that he's bringing like the quesadilla vibes.
Yes,
like all of everything that he's bringing besides the home runs. Like I'm big Oak all the way. That's just because extremely biased. Not going with the stats.
There's three players. There's a handful of players that if the Blue Jays didn't have through the first half of the season, they'd be pretty much cooked right now. And one of them is Kazuma Okamoto. It's Dylan Cease, Louis Varland, Oak, and Ernie Clement. That's the four right there that have kept the Blue Jays season from.
I thought you were going to say Vladdy, Hoffman.
No, yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing that you go. I'm just poking the bear. You know this.
the iron.
Spencer Miles has been great too. Yeah, he's been a great.
He has been great. One you mentioned Vladimir Guerrero, Lindsay. So the White Sox are starting. Anthony Kay, who has a 4.15 ERA. The last time he faced the Toronto Blue Jays, gave up a home run to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Oh,
let's go.
Good vibes. So Chicago comes in the last 13 games, 4-9 on the road, which is a positive for the Toronto Blue Jays. And this 13-game stretch, as Dan was saying yesterday, kind of decides whether the Toronto Blue Jays will be buyers or sellers. The next 13 games. So these are 13 games before the trade deadline. Home to Chicago, home to Tampa for 4 games, on the road in Boston, on the road in Chicago, and then home to St. Louis. So that is it's a tough one. That's it's. Certainly those 4 games against Tampa. I mean, Tampa, wherever Tampa plays, at home or on the road, that's a lethal matchup for they out small ball any friggin' team.
The reality of this Blue Jays season right now is they're kind of staring down the barrel of like, what do we do here at the deadline?
Yeah.
And these next couple of weeks sort of decide what they are. You know, I know this is a team that spent a lot in the offseason. They obviously look at last year and the World Series appearance and say, you know, that's part of the sample size that we're taking into account for how we go about this. But if they don't turn it around to the point where, you know, you get to 500 over the next couple of weeks, right? You win 9 of the next 13 games or something like that, which seems like a monumental task for this team with the way that they've been so consistently inconsistent all season long. This is kind of it, though. They have to. If you want to see Ross Atkins go out there and seriously add to this team to make any kind of significant it would need this team to go on a heater like right now. The time is running out. There's a scenario where they sell off a little bit and they can still compete down the stretch because there's still a lot here and they don't have a ton of pieces to sell. You know, if you trade off George Springer, let's say, which, you know, he's after last season, he's a beloved player in the franchise, but he is not given them much at all this year anyway. So what necessarily are you losing from the lineup in that perspective? These are the kinds of things that the front office has to weigh, but ultimately time is running out on the season. It's not early anymore, Cab. They've got to start getting some wins.
Yeah, you're right. It isn't early.
It's finally not early anymore.
I know.
Yes.
You're right. Listen, they played 60% of the season, almost 100 games. Yes. That's a really strong sample size. So I'll concede the point that it is no longer early, Dan. Even though there are 66 games left, it is no longer early. But I want to present something to you, Dan.
Oh.
As the resident Simon Cowell of Off the Roster, and Andy, feel free to load this up here. I want to present to you.
I need to go clean shaven for this comp.
For a team that had that was so far out of the playoff race late into the season, but did make a final push and captured a wild card spot. This is the Detroit Tigers, the 2024 Detroit Tigers, and I will read from my notes. This is a case for optimism for the 2026 Toronto Blue Jays. Dan Riccio, the Detroit Tigers looked like a non-factor in the postseason race for much of 2024, but they turned it into a year to make an improbable run to the playoffs. In mid-July, Detroit was 47-50. 3.5 games back in the wild card race with 4 teams to lead to get into the playoffs. The Toronto Blue Jays are 45-51, 2.5 games back with 6 teams to leap to get into the playoffs. A 2-week heater, as you just said, Dan, basically will have Toronto challenging for the second wild card spot. Detroit's late season surge was built on an elite run prevention led by Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal. Pitching similarities is where Toronto matches up strongest with the Detroit Tigers. Dylan Cease continues a Cy Young campaign, racking up elite strikeout numbers with 148 right now, providing a true ace to the lineup to snap losing streaks or extend winning streaks. Toronto has an elite closer in Louis Varland, who has 19 saves and counting, who will be right there. There's our guy. Salute to him in the All-Star game, by the way. And the Tigers in 2024 relied on a reliever named Jason Foley and his 28 saves. Do you remember him, Dan? Because I certainly don't. But that's Jason Foley right there. Detroit
looks like a wrestler. Look at that flow.
Detroit was 55-63 entering play on August 11th. That's 8 games under 500, Dan. But the club went on an MLB best 31-11 over its next 42 games to clinch a wild card spot on September 27th. Detroit's late season run was fueled by beating AL Central opponents and direct wild card contenders in late August and September. That was Seattle, the New York Yankees, Boston, Baltimore twice, Kansas City, and Tampa Bay. The Tigers won each of those series or swept the opponents. The AL East wildcard pitcher for Toronto has a similar lineup of opponents down the stretch. Who does Toronto have in August and September? Seattle, the New York Yankees twice, Boston, Baltimore twice, Detroit, and Tampa. 42-24, like you said a few days ago, gets Toronto to 87 wins. So there is a precedent to get to the wild card berth for the Toronto Blue Jays, and that precedent is the 2024 Detroit Tigers. Dan Riccio, a.k.a. Simon Cowell. That is my case study, sir. We got to believe.
Round of applause for that. We got to believe.
These Blue Jays.
I love heartbreak. Let's believe.
I prefer. I am appreciative that you found a more recent example than your last one, the 1973 New York Mets.
Yes, I did have to go back by over 50 years, but this one, and there may be another. We'll revisit in a few weeks to see where the team's at around the trade deadline or post-trade deadline. But there is a chance, like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. We're saying there's a chance.
There's definitely a chance. Like 42 and 24 is. It's a pretty good record you've got to have to get to 87 wins here. And that doesn't guarantee anything because there's a lot of teams kind of right there in the middle with the Jays. We don't know who's going to get hot. They've got to be one of those teams that gets hot here in the second half. And the two things that need to happen the most, I think it's obvious.
They
need to sell 100,000 hot dogs on Monday.
Well,
someone Singles Jr. needs to change his name from Singles Jr. to Home
at
Run
least
Jr.
Doubles.
Doubles.
Vladdy Extra Base Hits Jr. Please would be nice to see some more XBHs from the Blue Jays $500 million man. It's obvious, right? Vladdy's got to have a second half breakout here. There needs to be an overcorrection to the slump that he has had from the first half to get him to where the Blue Jays need him to be to carry this offense, because right now they are bottom 5 in basically every offensive category that you can point to. There's others. George Springer needs to be better in the second half. Alejandro Kirk. It doesn't come down just to Vladdy, but Vladdy getting back to Vladdy levels can have the biggest impact on the Blue Jays improving through the second half of the season, which is necessary for them to get to the postseason. Now, the other part of this is starting pitching, which has been, I've had to, mea culpa on Ross Atkins. They need help with their starting pitching. It hasn't come from Shane Bieber. I'm not sure it's going to be reliable from Max Scherzer should he return to the rotation. So they need it. And then on offense from Vladdy, it's got to start with Vladdy, and then their starting pitchers. Like Kevin Gausman can be a little bit more consistent. Last year at this time at the All-Star break, I think he had around a 3.5 ERA. Right now he's over 4, so he can be a little bit better. Trey Savage has been really good, but He's kind of dodged trouble in a lot of his starts, right? We saw that in his last start against the Padres. He needs to be a little bit more consistent and also keep that ERA where it has been, around 3.5 for the rest of the year. They need more out of Shane Bieber. And then that fifth starter, sure, it's been great with Spencer Miles being the opener and the bulk man, but they need a little bit more consistency from their fifth starter in order to be able to stack wins in the way that they need to. Those two things, more than anything else, and there's a lot of things within those two things, as I mentioned, but if those two things start to correct themselves in the second half, the Blue Jays will be able to get hot and will be able to make a push for the postseason.
I'm going to put a name out there and see if either of you think that this potential player could help the Blue Jays get back in the nice win column, help their record out, because there's a lot of reports leading up to the MLB trade deadline of what players will be safe, what players are an absolute no-no. Multiple reports saying that Bo Bichette not off the table when it comes to the Mets. Yes.
Already?
Yes.
Wow. I hadn't seen that. Oh my gosh! It's been 3 months.
Yeah,
it's been 3 months.
Well,
already
they did sign him to basically a 1 year deal.
Right?
1 year with an opt out.
126.
It's 3 years with an opt out after year one. So
yeah, they're saying they're going to be in full sell mode. And would you be a buyer if you were the Toronto Blue Jays, Dan?
Oh my goodness!
Everything does come down to trade acquisition cost, as is always the case. But the Jays definitely need offense. Bo, while he does have more home runs than Vladimir Guerrero Jr., has not had a great season at the dish this year, and that's one of the reasons he is on the trade block potentially here as we get closer to the trade deadline. My issue is
everything.
Like Kazuma Okamoto's been great at third base.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, you could upgrade on Andres Gimenez, but does that upgrade you defensively if you're the Blue Jays? And we know that their first priority is defense. That's the way this front office has operated. It's why they let Bo Bichette walk in the offseason. I'm not saying there isn't a fit, because Bo Bichette's bat, when it's at its best, can definitely help this team. But after he left and they made the moves that they did, the fit isn't quite there to add the salary that Bo Bichette brings to this roster, even though he's not getting paid basically anything for the rest of this year, because it was all paid in signing bonus and spring training. Like $40 million. Right. Here you go. $40 million. You're getting paid nothing for the rest of the year, but here's your $40 million.
You circumvent some tax laws there, play into those loopholes. What if he's the oh man, for the nostalgic vibes? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like we were awash in nostalgia vibes with Kawhi Leonard potentially joining the Toronto Raptors for like the last 2 weeks. But yeah, the fit, like, do we just slot him at the DH if that happens? But also the big question is, Dan, what is this going to cost? Yeah. Will it cost JoJo Parker? Like, no, I think he's probably untouchable, actually, unless it's like, oh, for some reason Bobby Witt Jr. wants to get out of Kansas City. It's like there's so few people
awesome.
that would be come to us, yeah. But yeah, what would that cost? Man, that's a great question. It's honestly, a fun hypothetical.
Pretty much all of the Blue Jays trade deadline potentials are, I don't want to give up one of the top prospects to add to this team right now. And unless they go on a big time heater where you feel pretty good about their chances of getting into the postseason, it would be not smart to take away one of your major prospects to add something that can help in the short term. If it's something that can help in the next 2 years, over the next short window, sure, then that makes a little bit more sense. But for a rental type of player, which Bo Bichette could be, with the option for him to opt out, even though he's having a pretty bad season, and $40 million would be smart of him to take, it's still just not – they're not in a good enough position to give up assets to add just for the rest of this season.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with this team. I just hope they get in the win column tonight. I hope that they start off absolutely on a heater outside of the All-Star break. But when it comes to the All-Star, just a note that it was announced by Major League Baseball that next year that it will happen at Wrigley Field. And then the next year, reports are saying it could be in San Diego if in fact, the MLB players will partake in the Olympics, which would mean all of the stories and news that we're kind of hearing that the Blue Jays would get the All-Star Game in 2028 means they would have to wait another couple of years. So that's just like, if you're interested in seeing the All-Star Game in Toronto, it looks like the wait is going to have to be a little bit longer, but you don't have to wait.
Well, that was one of the hopes when they did all the renos at Rogers Center, right? To get the All-Star Game.
It wasn't to raise ticket prices and make more exclusive lounges for people to not be able to sit in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was 100% part of it. Yeah.
The phone and internet charges and the Sportsnet package just raised that 10, 12%, 15% out of nowhere.
That tracks. I do wonder if you were to like survey all of the people leaving the Rogers Center after a game, how many know what the actual score was?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which I was fascinated in. So many people don't.
Well, because like there's especially now with the Rogers Center, the way that it is and the way that it's set up with the Corona and the flight deck and all these different places that you
people go for like, the vibe and not for the game.
Yeah, they're just hanging out and there's a baseball game in the background, right? It's they're not there to, score the baseball game from their seat.
I was surprised so many people left the All-Star Game as early as they did. I don't know if it showed on TV, but people were leaving before the ninth even started in droves. I'm like, it was a 4-0 game. It's not that it was not like achievable, but it's just like you paid a lot of coin to get in here, but you got to beat that traffic. We know you got to beat that traffic, but you don't need about let me try that again.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. You don't need to worry about traffic to enjoy watching the World Cup final this Sunday, because we're going to hook up one of our viewers. Proline is giving away one of our followers the chance to win a table for 4 at Real Sports for the final this Sunday. This is sure to be one of the most fun places to watch the game in the city. On top of that, you're getting a $400 Real Sports gift card to really make your final interesting. Just visit our Instagram account and check out our giveaway post. We'll be selecting the winner at 12 p.m. Eastern on Friday. So that's going to be fantastic. And what else was fantastic that happened within the last 24 hours? The Leafs also released their upcoming schedule because, that's a lot closer than the 2027 MLB schedule and
makes
season.
A lot more sense.
It makes all of the sense. But if you do not see it, we're going to play a little bit of the video that they released. I love the production value that went into it and a lot of the little jabs at different teams and maybe some players. Take a listen and watch this.
I swear, every season it's the same thing. These teams leave everything behind. I'm getting sick of sending all this stuff back.
Buffalo. What is this?
Clam chowder? Ew. Definitely bashed and wicked schmat.
Wicked schmat.
Philadelphia.
Is this Gritty's?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize he wore a toupee. He wears it well. You learn something new every day. Oh, my God! I was a little dramatic, sorry. Ew. These Florida rats are a lot smaller in person. Scotty!
What on earth?
It's Brad Marchand right there.
Oh, Montreal.
That's gross.
That's so gross.
Yeah, that's a steamy. It's a waste of food.
So what, do you think we have to send this to Florida now instead?
Good one.
It's podcast microphone.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Cabbie's favorite game right there.
I don't think they're going to miss it.
Oh, no, it's mine now. Finders keepers. Yeah. They're not going to miss it. These pins are deep.
Interesting couple digs at Tkachuk.
I love the Brady Tkachuk dig.
Oh, I loved it.
So for the audio audience, they pulled out a microphone out of the lost and found box to represent the Ottawa Senators. And obviously that Brady Tkachuk has now left the Ottawa Senators because of the very popular podcast with Brady Tkachuk and his brother.
The Wingmen?
Matthew had. The Wingmen, where he basically told everybody he was leaving Ottawa without actually explicitly saying it, but for like months on end. And then eventually went and did the thing where he joined his brother in Florida.
Oh, man.
And then went on the podcast and tried to tell everybody, I didn't join Florida to join my brother. No, it had nothing to do with it.
Well done to the production crew on that. That was great. But yeah, so you look at the schedule, but it made me think of a couple things like the return of Brady to Ottawa. Then you have Quinn Hughes to Vancouver.
There's a lot of revenge games. Some former captains returning to their cities. I mean, for Quinn Hughes, it's like 10 months on that he'll finally return to Vancouver. Which player, Cab, do you think is going to get more heat on the return to their former
Brady
home?
Tkachuk to Ottawa. Absolutely. That they will.
Don't underestimate Canucks fans, man. Do not underestimate Canucks
fans. Yeah, but how many of them will be in the building? Like, Ottawa will be a full building. And it's a bigger building. And every time Brady Tkachuk touches the puck with the Florida Panthers, they are just going to rain down boos on that dude. Oh, real quick, got to salute Blake Johnston and Jesse Georgie, the two comedic performers in that Leafs schedule release video. They did a wonderful job. And I don't know okay, so I'm going to throw the question back to you, Dan and Lindsay. Who gets a louder chorus of boos when they return for the revenge game from their former fan bases? Quinn Hughes or Brady Tkachuk?
Brady.
Yeah.
I think Brady is just going to get annihilated.
Brady is going to get a lot of heat from Senators fans. I don't know if it'll quite be John Tavares going back to the island with the New York Islanders, but he should probably get a lot of heat. And I know they tried to lessen the blow, but ultimately, like we all saw what was going to happen, and it eventually happened, and that's going to sting for a lot of Senators fans. Quinn Hughes is going to get quite a bit from Canucks fans. It's a weird one because every Canucks fan knows this was and is the greatest defenseman in franchise history. He passed Alex Edler for most points in franchise history by a defenseman before he ended up getting traded. But there is, and I see it in my mentions, being somebody that covered the Canucks for basically all of Quinn Hughes' career while he was in Vancouver. He kind of got the nickname Quit Hughes because there's a lot of Canucks fans that felt he quit on that team. And I kind of disagree with it because they were so poorly managed and the way things ended up wasn't really on Quinn Hughes. And when it all ended, he was the final straw that said, all right, this is going to kickstart a rebuild here in Vancouver, which is probably going to be best for the Canucks long term. It's just they're going to be in the doldrums for quite a while. And Quinn Hughes is going to be the guy that in the short term is remembered for, you're the one that started this rebuild here in Vancouver.
Do you think they're both going to get booed across Canada, though? Like some sprinkled boos?
No.
No? I feel like they will.
Well,
I don't think so.
They'll boo Brady
Like,
Tkachuk in Toronto when they come on December the 3rd. I think those boos are reserved mostly for Brad Marchand. But maybe the Tkachuk brothers will take some. They'll take some heat, but Marchand, I think, is the primary villain on that squad.
Lindsay brought up an interesting point. What kind of reaction does Mike Babcock get in his return to Toronto?
Yeah.
Does Mike Babcock get a tribute video? Sheldon Keefe got a tribute video.
Ooh, interesting.
It's been a long time, and it obviously wasn't a ceremonious end to Mike Babcock's career as head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. But
I think he'll get a
Great
ceremonial
question.
photo. I think a photo.
there will be some kind of acknowledgement, like welcome back, coach. Is there a full video, or is it just like, hey, we're gonna put up a photo on the screen, like and show Mike Babcock on the jumbotron here during that first TV timeout, and see what kind of reaction fans give.
Smattering of applause mixed in with a chorus of boos.
Yes,
I think. Sorry, go ahead,
No.
Lindsay.
I just want to quickly point out about the schedule release for the Leafs. Pointed out in the chat that the Leafs only play teams on their second half of a back-to-back 5 times, where the Habs play them 19 times.
A lot of scheduled wins for the Habs, not very many scheduled wins for the Maple Leafs in this upcoming season. Jason Gregor brought it up yesterday on Twitter. 19 such games for the Habs where they have a team playing them on the second half of a back-to-back, whereas the Leafs and Winnipeg Jets have just 5 such instances. That's not great for a team trying to get back in the playoffs. There's not going to be many schedule favors for the Leafs next year.
Well, here's an interesting wrinkle. As Amazon Prime is renewing its hockey deal. That's been announced, right? Officially?
Not sure. Don't think so.
Anyway, the Montreal Canadiens
it's not a well-kept secret, though, so I think you're okay.
The Montreal Canadiens they're built to be, the team in the Eastern Conference for like the next 5 years. And the broadcast rights for like the French language stations, those are being negotiated right now. And there's a big increase that the league wants from, I guess, RDS or TVA because, this team's going to be featured in a lot of national games because obviously they got so much talent and they had that run in this Eastern Conference final. And the league is actually, as you said, like setting them up for a successful follow-up to 2026 in 2027 with 19 games on back-to-backs. Here's a few things about the Leaf schedule, though. That is, one is kind of optimistic, one is a little bit worrisome. So some of the premier guys that we'll see in the first month is McKinnon and Kadri are in Toronto November 10th. Connor is here on November 14th. Mike Babcock is the coach. And then Mitch Marner is here in Toronto on December the 12th. But December is brutal for the Maple Leafs. There's, December 3rd to the 19th. Florida, Carolina, Dallas, Vegas, Anaheim, Minnesota, New Jersey, Tampa. Like I'm already concerned. Like Lindsay, how are we going to remain optimistic in the middle of December if the Leafs have lost 4 or 5 in a row, 2 legit contenders? And Dan's like, it's getting late early. Like, bro, it's been 13 games. Like, it's getting late early. I mean, with that schedule in December, that's a gauntlet. Now, heading into the All-Star break, things get a little bit easier. My last note here, from Jan 11 to Jan 30, Winnipeg, Chicago, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Ottawa, St. Louis, Calgary, Detroit, Boston. Not as bad. Not the gauntlet that December will see Toronto try to skate through. January, we'll need to pick up, in that stretch, there's 9 games, 6-1-2, 5-2-2 maybe, going into the All-Star break with some momentum, some W's on the schedule to then give a relatively positive outlook on the second half of the season, depending on where Toronto is at that point. But December, that is a tough stretch in that second month of the season. I guess third month, because we're starting September 29th or something this year. Because there's 2 extra games to the schedule, going to 84 games in the NHL schedule this year.
Well, we're going to back-to-back W's right now because not only are we going to hear from David Beckham, but we're also going to hear from one of the new voices of EA Sports NHL 27. But first, this segment is a presentation of the Ninja Flex Flame.
Ninja Flex Flame gives you 5 ways to cook. High heat grilling, low and slow smoking, crispier roasting, flat top griddling, artisan pizza making, and David Beckham cooks for you.
I did not agree to that.
Ninja Flex Flame.
Meet the Ninja Flex Flame precision temperature control wood fire smoke and cyclonic air for grilling, smoking, roasting pizza, and griddling all under one hood. Grill pizza and everything in between. The Ninja Outdoor Grill and Artisan Pizza Maker are built for summer. Upgrade outside with Ninja. And it is my absolute joy to bring one of the new voices of EA Sports NHL 27 to the program that has been making people lose their mind online. They're so excited to. Oh, look, right now, just right now. Welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to the
Bucci.
show. Bucci. Yeah, just
Good
where
morning.
does it? This is so. I love this for you. I love this for fans. I love this for anybody that plays video games. Just what was this experience like for you, and how long did you have to keep this a secret?
I was driving to do a college hockey game last October and just got this random email saying, and it pretty much spelled it all out. Like it was, it came out, dropped out of the sky. I don't have an agent or anything. So if you want me to work for you, you have to find me. and somehow they did. I'm not sure how. But and it just, so we started doing it, I think around January 1st, doing all the recordings and everything. And I had the laptop and took it with me on the road trip for my games that I do. So, a couple of laptops and iPads. It was a heavy winter of lugging around this heavy carry-on bag. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's pretty tedious. You're saying the same thing over again. You're saying every team name, every player's name. But I try to look at it to try to, improve my own craft and obviously to be a part of the game once it comes out. That's kind of, you just kind of keep looking at the carrot. And eventually the game will come out. That's the exciting part. To be a part of an iconic brand is really cool. My boys played the game growing up, and now you're going to be a part of these young fans' lives. And whether it's my Twitter feed or whatever, it's always been about connection with me and kind of that small club, punk rock, small venue for music kind of vibe. That's the thing I've always enjoyed about my job. And this kind of feeds into that.
Oh, I love that. And like I mentioned, the reaction online just when it officially was announced that you were part of this has just been so overwhelmingly positive. People are so excited to hear your call. But somebody as yourself, like you've followed this league for so long, when you look at this offseason, what has been the one storyline that you've loved to follow for fun in the NHL?
Well, certainly it's the salaries, right? And the Leo Carlsson offer sheet and where the salaries are going, how some teams couldn't just read the math in the room, and even some agents who didn't read the math either and probably could have got their clients a much higher AAV had they done a shorter term deal. We saw these TV deals exploding. We knew the revenue was going up. I'm surprised some of these players signed those 7-8 year deals the last couple of years, knowing this day was coming. It was pretty obvious. The US TV deal is now going to be up in 2 years. The cap's going to go up again. So that's the thing for me these last year or so is the salaries and where they're going, how you manage the cap, and how much are the players going to have to sacrifice. Like, what does Macklin Celebrini do now, right? Will he take 15 for 3 years or 14 so they can get a $4 million player instead of making 18, 19, which they would give him if he asked? Maybe I'll take 14 for 3 years. Then we can sign a $4 million player and be better than Anaheim. Will he do that? Or will he is there this kind of new, almost like a baseball vibe where your job is to get as much as you can every time to raise everybody up? But again, hockey has a hard cap. What will this do for team dynamics? Right now, the players seem to be, go get it, Leo, we're your guy. And even though, Chris Kreider knows he'll likely be traded and Alex Killorn will likely be traded, they share an agent with Leo Carlsson. So, there's a lot going on that way for me. Just the money, how it affects the team dynamics, the players, and how they strategize to try to have the best team possible. Like we saw, Connor McDavid do a couple of years ago, making 12-5.
Yeah, it's changed everything. Like last summer, we had McDavid taking the very team friendly deal to stay and extend in Edmonton, and now we've got Leo Carlsson doing just completely changing the dynamics for star players in the NHL and where that top salary can go. Before we continue on that note, I got to know, like, how many chicken parm references are we getting in NHL 27 this year?
Yeah, I can't remember if I did any. Winner, chicken parm dinner. I might have. You say so many words for so many months, you forget what you say. So I hope I snuck one in, and I hope they kept it.
We'll have to play and find out.
That's right.
It's kind of crazy, Leafs fans, we're a Toronto show, and Leafs fans continue to lament, what Montreal's been able to build, especially Ivan Demidov signed that long-term deal just very, like a few days, it felt like, before Leo Carlsson signed that massive deal. So teams like Montreal, they seem like they are in a prime position to really take advantage of the growing salary cap, given they've already locked up their entire young core to extremely team-friendly deals.
Yeah, I'm not as bullish on Montreal as a lot of people are.
What do you mean?
I just, we'll see how good Demidov's going to be. Is he going to be a goal scorer? Maybe Cole Caulfield just had a career year. Like, it's possible, right? Some people's career years come early. And so he might not duplicate that again. Now, it's easy to have this, you have a pretty good cap structure, but that's really set up now to keep any future studs. But like you said, they won't have any more coming because they'll be too good to draft. And you might get lucky sometimes, for sure. Brad Marchand was a 3rd-round pick. Patrice Bergeron was a 2nd-round pick. David Pastrnak was in the 20s overall. So you can still get Hall of Famers late. And that's really the key. Then you could lock them up when they come up. But it's going to be, there'll be a few free agents, but teams are going to start locking players up with this rising cap. And because of the offer sheet thing, we're going to see. So I think there'll be there'll be less inventory for them to plug holes. And so, I just think Montreal, this last step is like in golf, right? Okay, when I break 90, all right, now I'll try to break 80. That's going to be really hard. And for those who eventually break 80, can I break 70? The answer is no. If you ever shot 85, you're not going to break 70. But maybe you can get down and shoot a 79, And I think right now Montreal's like they've shot like a 76. Okay, that's pretty good. They're like a 3-4 handicap. Can they get to scratch? That's the thing. So if I'm a Maple Leaf fan, I kind of like what we're doing here. We'll see if McKenna pops right away, if Matthews can have a resurgence with health, and now as a guy who's healthy. So I would just, like I said, for whatever, I don't know why, I just say what I feel. I'm a little less bullish on Montreal like a lot of people.
John, good morning. Cabbie here.
Hello, Cabbie.
Good morning. For the audio audience, you are sleeveless right now, and those sleeves are cut at the shoulders. Is that a casual Friday look, or is just like the sun's out, so the guns have to be out?
It's a beautiful day here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. I like to get up early, go to the gym. It was curls day. When the energy's kind of low, I'm like, I'll just go do biceps. That's what I said. You don't need a lot of energy to do biceps, right? It's legs, chest, back. Yeah. It's a lot of this is just kind of so you guys, I want to be on the show. I couldn't, I said, okay, I'll do it. I tend to push things. I was at the grocery store at 10:12 when you guys said 10:30. I had to come home, throw my stuff in the refrigerator, my ribeyes, my banana, I want to make some caprese salad later. Wow, love it. And I ran up here, so just didn't have time to change. And I just want to show all my Canadian friends, show my support. How much
John, we appreciate it, and shout out to your neighborhood, Trader Joe's. Now,
can you see this light? Is there like an angelic glow coming?
You're glowing a little bit.
Days, bro.
I've never seen the thing behind you.
It's happening, but I kind of like it.
You're glowing right now.
Yeah. Is this a veteran move or real shady business if some other team offer sheeted Connor Bedard right now in the same way that the Philadelphia Flyers offer sheeted Leo Carlson? Because for those is an RFA right now, right. RFA,
it makes sense because you would injure them, right? Like Anaheim will not be as good now because of this contract, and that's something I'm sure is going to be on Leo Carlson's conscience a little bit. I'm sure he'll be asked about it at training camp, media day. How do you reconcile that? Getting as much as you can, but knowing you're now going to lose about a $6 million player, either 2 threes or 1 6, because they assumed, I think, he was going to come in around 12. I'm sure Anaheim was hoping actually probably 11. So maybe it's even $7 million difference. So again, that's just a different guy. You can't have either one $7 million player or now a 5 and a 2, a 4 and a 3, however you break it up. And now they have Cutter Gauthier, who's another one. He can't be offer sheeted, but he's a guy who needs a new contract. And he sees that, well, geez, he making 18. I can't make less than 16 if I'm going to sign a long-term deal. And then you have Beckett Seneca, who's going to be a $12 million player. This guy, I think Beckett Seneca is he's Philip Forsberg, Dylan Gunther kind of a talent. He's going to be an $8, $9, $10 million player. So you could do that because obviously Chicago will match, just like I knew the Ducks have to match. These kind of players aren't available a lot. We mentioned the lower inventory, but you could mess up a team's situation. Now, Chicago, they just don't seem to have very many other players who are going to be $12, $13 million players. That's their issue. So it's a good problem to have because you want to have 3 or 4 of those guys. And right now it looks like they only have him. I know they gave Byram a lot of money, probably a little more than maybe he is, but he's close enough. He's 10, 11, so he got 12. But you could do that, but that's an easy go. Chicago is so far from being capped out, they'll easily match. But down the road, if you're looking to injure somebody, when you know a team will match, I would think it's part of the game.
Okay, so that sounds like a veteran move. John, I've never met you, but I imagine you are a phenomenal storyteller And when you're on the road, you could hold court at like the hotel bar. If a group of fans come up to you and they want to get your hockey opinions or just want to hear great stories from your time in television, who on the ESPN broadcast, and now there's Messier, there's Chelios, there's Piqué, who holds court during intermissions or in the after the pre-show meeting for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, just telling the best stories that you could never actually repeat on a podcast or television.
Right. Yeah, those are the best times, the dinners and the hanging around, watching the games after the intermissions. When we're in studio, we sit around and watch the bank of monitors. And like you said, Mess will tell stories, which are unbelievable, obviously. But you know who's really good, sneaky good, is one of our rookies from last year, TJ Oshie. TJ is just... he's an amazing connector of people, how he can bring people, once he got hired and he started appearing on TV, I'll get different texts from people. And it's like, man, that guy in this situation, how he brought people together. So he always finds he's got like a Peter Pan kind of vibe with him where he's just a little kid and everyone loves him, right? He's like the favorite child. He's the boy next door. He's, our Captain America. And he just finds himself in these, like that tournament last weekend in Lake Tahoe, right? He was hanging out with the Kelsey brothers and hanging out with the Kachucks, and he made T-shirts. He had uniforms. Like, that's what he does. We kind of come from the same cloth. Like, when I was in college, I would rank all the intramural teams, and I'd put them on the cafeteria door, right? Like it was the AP coaches poll. Like, I would do, and just to get people excited, right, and talking about it. I always like to come up with those little reindeer games. Like, that's what the Bucci Overtime Challenge was in college hockey. It's just stuff to get people excited, like, about what we're doing in life, and TJ's like that. So he has so many great stories because he creates those situations, puts himself in the middle of them, and then just loves life, like I said, like a child. So TJ Oshie is a guy.
Nice.
And, again, but certainly the GOATs like Ferraro and Messier, they've been around so long and they played 20 years. And plus they played back in the pre-cell phone days when they did things without having to worry about recording. Mm-hmm. So they're more organic. And like I said, you tell a kid of this generation about some of their stories and they can't even fathom it because unfortunately, the kids who are 30 and below, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, they grew up with, the phone and Snapchat and then Twitter, and they didn't realize about screenshots and screen grabs. And I feel bad for those kids because a lot of the time it was no big deal, but still they get embarrassed, right? And they're embarrassed by because every once in a while here they come back up again. So they can't even imagine some of these scenarios these guys in the 80s and 90s would find themselves in. So yeah, we got a good spectrum. We got the Ferraro, Messier, and we got the Oshie, Eric Johnson kind of new guys.
Yeah, we had a good time following the cup party for those that Washington team that won it in Vegas a few years ago.
Good call. Yeah. That was TJ again.
But
he
also
got OD in the fountain. Right?
Yeah, he did. Yes. But there's not a lot of video evidence of what happened in the '94 Rangers Cup final parties. So. That might be a good thing. You're wearing the USA T-shirt. You mentioned Captain America. Captain America is Austin Matthews and also captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes.
You think he's got a bounce back season in him this year, Bucci?
I do. I think he's excited with Gavin McKenna, who is an absolute elite facilitator. He is absolute uber smart with great hands, can make a pass and accept a pass, and he will set Austin up. I would think that Gavin McKenna is over-under with points, playing with Matthews and playing on that power play. I would have him at about, I'd say 62.5 points. That'd be my over-under for McKenna. Not sure if he'll score a lot because he had a hard time scoring in college last year. Took a while to get going. Where someone like Macklin Celebrini scored 32 goals as a 17-year-old in college. That's when you know that this guy is going to translate to the pro game. And so Celebrini, pretty good rookie year, almost point per game, 73 points, I believe. And then he went to 115 last year. So I don't think McKenna will quite do that. But I think with Matthews in that power play and Darren Radish, he can feed Radish if he's playing the half wall, which is where I think McKenna has a Kucherov type of game. Half wall power play, he can still shoot it, but he's going to be facilitating the one-timer to Radish. He can find a guy in the bumper, and it's just kind of curious what they're going to do with Matthews, where you put him on the power play so he becomes more of a shooter than maybe overhandling. And that's tough, being the left-handed shot. It'd be easier if he was right-handed, but Nylander's over there. So is Matthews a bumper guy? Is he around the net guy? Does he go wherever he wants guy? But is that really good for a power play? Because, Tampa had the perfect one there with Hedman, Kucherov, Point, Stammer on the other side, Killorn, Palat down by the net. That was like perfect, right? And sometimes it's about the mix. So we'll see if it mixes. But I'm pretty excited about Toronto. I'm kind of bullish about the Leafs this year. And Austin.
We like to hear that.
Yeah, we love to hear that. And I've been sitting here patiently because I've been just waiting to ask you something about your childhood. I want to go back to when you were 11 years old and you moved to Steubenville, Ohio. When was the last time you've been to Steubenville, Ohio, which for our listeners is the place where my favorite artist, Dean Martin, grew up, and I definitely drove to his.
I was waiting for the tie-in. I'm like, where is this?
This is the only person I've ever met in my life that has, been from Steubenville, so I need to know about this.
Yeah, Dean Martin, Jimmy the Greek, who was a famous gambler back in the 80s when gambling was not allowed, but he was on our NFL pregame shows. Jimmy the Greek, also from Steubenville. Yeah, steel mill town, got there as an 11-year-old, tough blue collar, really, really a tough place. Especially when you're a little bit of an athlete, then people suddenly they feel threatened. So I would get pounded on early. I had to kind of work my way through that, but that was fun. And yeah, I go to Steubenville almost every year. One of my teammates is going to our high school Hall of Fame, Steubenville Catholic Central. Shout out Crusaders. So I'll be back there in September, right on the Ohio River. Tough people, funny people. I swear 15, 20 friends growing up could have been comedians. They're just so funny, kind of a melting pot, a little Pittsburgh, basically. But yeah, I love Steubenville. Glad that my parents were Boston people who moved to Pittsburgh. And so I grew up in Western Pennsylvania for 11 years and then Eastern Ohio for 11 years and then moved here to New England to start my TV thing and then to be around all the family because my parents were the only ones who left. But no, I love Steubenville. And I'll be back. I'll be back this year. Try to go back once a year.
I love that. I went, in
the Dean Martin
2017.
Festival. Have you been to the Dean Martin Festival?
That's what I'm saying. So I'm from the middle of Canada originally, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Which I call middle of Canada Northern Ohio, and I call Ohio Southern Ontario.
Okay.
We're all
It's like, I may fight you for that. We did become friends for a second, but I love that. So I moved here just over a decade ago, but in 2017, I realized how close Steubenville was actually to Toronto because where I originally lived, it was just took forever to drive anywhere. I drove to Steubenville, Ohio, so pumped to go to the Dean Martin Festival to celebrate his 100th birthday and meet fellow Dean Martin fans. And then I found it. And then I'll be honest, it was one of the biggest lunch bag letdowns I had of my life because I thought it'd be a bunch of people like around my age, which at the time was near 30. And it was at a senior center. And then they had more Elvis impersonators than they had.
You're
Dean
the only
Martin.
one surprised by this.
So what I'm saying is I need to I still am shocked by this. So I need to go to Steubenville with you. We need to revamp the Dean Martin Festival. I would love for you to be a Dean Martin impersonator because we just need to bring this back. So please at least humor me and lie right now by saying, okay, I'll think about it.
I thought the big Dean Martin Festival was at the bar, the Spot Bar. It's an indoor.
They
outdoor.
moved it. It started at the senior center, and then it went to the bar where people definitely got in a fight with their canes because one of the guys sat in the other guy's spot. Honestly, it was legendary.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Steubenville.
I'll put my name on it. We'll try to revise it. I got some friends there, some Italian friends. We can give this thing the proper send off for you. We'll try to make that happen.
Man,
Italians fix everything. We know that.
It's fast.
That's amore.
Oh, yes. This is the best guest of life. We became best friends. Thank you so much for your time. And honestly, just congratulations on everything. And thank you for doing some curls before you came on the show. Our chat's been loving it.
There it is, the gun show.
Yes. In 4K.
Thanks so much.
Amen.
Thank you for this.
God be with you all. Go
Nice
Leafs,
to meet
go.
you.
Go Leafs, go.
Take care, sir.
There it is.
Gem of a human.
Yes.
The fact
That was fun.
Oh, that was great. Saying a little bit of Dean Martin. My life is now complete. But yeah, legendary moment when the canes came out at the bar and then they were hitting each other with the canes. Like, I don't know. This day could go any different.
I don't know why. I got the visuals of Angelo Mosca and
that's exactly where I was going. At the Grey Cup weekend.
Yes.
I think was it in Hamilton or Mosca was a Hamilton Tiger Cat, but then like the other dude like got him a legit right hook. Oh, what was the other dude?
Why are
These
we
guys
thinking
were in,
of the same
their
thing?
80s,
Yes.
70s or 80s. We are thinking of the same incident, right?
Yes,
It was like
Angelo Mosca and
16,
Joe Cap
17.
fighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
For real. Like they had legit.
Couple of CFL legends fighting on
40 years,
stage.
50 years ago. Yeah, it was great. I think that made ESPN back in the day, like on either.
I forgot about that.
Michelle Beadle's show with Sports Nation with Max Kellerman and
Yeah.
Sure, First Take or whatever. But yeah, I think it made it down to that clip. Made it down to ESPN, and it was one of the few at the time that actually could cross the border and be like, "Yo, what's going on in Canada?" Like, 80-year-olds fight geriatrics are fighting at.
Yeah. Well, Angelo Mosca was a professional wrestler, so he could get into it. He could put on a show.
And if you ever met him, he would give you.
I forgot about
a
this
card.
moment.
He would give you a signed trading card. I met him a couple times and I got the same one signed. I was like, oh, thank you, sir.
Oh man.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to them because this is the most we've talked about the CFL on the show since its existence. So,
Which I do believe the Argos have a home game in Hamilton this weekend.
Yeah.
I think that is what's happening because of.
Wait, what?
Let me just quickly check this out. I think it's because.
well, they haven't had a home
FIFA
game in
stuff.
Toronto at all this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And they took down that FIFA branding immediately.
ASAP.
And they. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're keeping that. That's now a permanent structure, right? All those additional seats.
They're taking them down, I thought.
Oh, they are.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
It looked like I
The
just drove
bleachers
by
are coming
yesterday.
down.
The
yeah.
bleachers are coming
Oh,
down.
I thought that was one of the things. Like, oh, here we. See, you paid for it, but yeah, you get to keep it because we made you pay for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess they're taking
Like
it
the Winter Classic at BMO, they took them. They take them down pretty quick, I guess.
You know what? Let's get to the Proline pick of the day, and then we need to get into some FIFA news and a WTF Friday moment. It is time now for your 416 Proline picks. The new Proline app is here. Bet on soccer online and in store. Loyalties, they're complicated, but your soccer bets, they don't have to be. Get exclusive split loyalty parlays only on Proline. Loyal to more than one country, you can back all your teams with a split loyalty parlay, bet only on Proline.
So I'm gonna keep it simple again. We won last night, broke the cold streak with the New York Mets win over the Phillies. So we're gonna continue to keep it simple today. Blue Jays and White Sox. Blue Jays need to get the second half started in a good way. So we're going with a simple, straight up Blue Jays win tonight over the Chi Sox at Rogers Center.
Okay, well done, Dan. These picks
You looked at me with such
I hate that.
disrespect.
You will use nicknames and stuff. Like yesterday I said pajamas. He's like jammies. I'm like, don't ever call them jammies again.
Yeah, what are you the actual Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Like the book?
Lindsay just gave me the harshest cut eye. Sorry,
Don't ever call
I'm sorry I cut you off.
Yeah, sorry,
there,
Cabbie. We just fought here.
No problem. Listen, Blue Jays over the Chi Sox. These picks are for entertainment purposes. And I'm also trying to get off the schneid, if you will. Because I had a bunch of losing picks in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stick with baseball. And I'm looking at the Atlanta Braves versus Texas Rangers. In his last start, the 37-year-old lefty, Chris Sale, only threw 3 innings due to a rain delay and was pissed that he did not continue after that 45-minute rain delay was over. With a remarkable 2.20 ERA and a fastball touching 97 on the regular, he's got great stuff. In the last 6 weeks, he's registered 7 or more strikeouts only once in 6 starts. So even though he's an all-star and he didn't pitch in Philadelphia because the Braves are managing his workload, my play is under 7, the rare under pick for your boy Cab, under 7.5 strikeouts for Chris Sale because I need to turn the tides. And how do you turn the tides? You root for disease and pestilence, hurricanes and tornadoes by rooting for the under. So under 7.5 strikeouts against the Texas Rangers, who have won 4 of their last 6 games. That is my Proline look-ahead pick of the day, which happens tonight. Lindsay Dunn.
I'm just trying to think if I can't remember the last time you took an under.
I've never taken an under.
I
always root for the overs like the optimist that I am. But this time, listen, let's change it up. Add some different seasoning to the mix. Under 7.5 strikeouts for Chris Sale.
Unders usually pay better. That's the way the world goes.
It's the way the world goes. And speaking of paying and paying off, and a not-for-profit company I want to talk about right now is going to FIFA, which seriously, I had no idea that
It's a not-for-profit organization, yes.
We all know that's a bunch of baloney. But you know what? They're going to be giving out championship rings.
Very American
for the
of them.
winners on Sunday.
Super American.
They'll be handed to the victorious players, bringing one of the most recognizable American sporting traditions to the global game. And get this, a limited edition of 2026 individually numbered rings will be created and 30 handed to the winning team. What will happen to the one on 1,996? Well, they'll be made available for fans to purchase. Say what? They're not trying to make more money off of anything.
No. Javier Bardem, who's been at every Spain match, will definitely be buying one if Spain is able to close it out on Sunday. I don't know. I've never thought of this, but did the Raptors sell any rings to fans? I feel like 19? I don't. Yeah.
No.
I feel like NFL and NHL and NBA and Major League Baseball teams don't. They don't
certain
put them out for purchase.
Can buy them. Say if you're part of the broadcast crew, I think, and you were on the broadcast,
right.
You can get a ring and you pay so much because you get a lower grade. You're not buying the one that's $50 bazillion.
Yes.
And then the Blue Jays just recently gave out their
AL championship
ring, which I was a lot of people don't want to talk about, but you can't just buy one. But this weekend, the Jays will be giving out replica 92-93 World Series championship rings. That's the only time that for the Raptors and Toronto teams that these replica rings, you can't buy them. I don't honestly, I don't know about the Argos, but I don't think you can buy a Grey Cup ring. You can get a replica when they give them out.
Yeah, it's a bit much, but
FIFA, you stink.
FIFA knows no.
Sorry, that's my
knows
opinion.
no bounds of where to stop the money grabs. Is how FIFA operates, has always operated, and yet every 4 years we still get amazed by how they continue to push the envelope for how they can grow their profits to support football across the globe as a non-profit organization
and grow the game for the children.
Yes, that is the most important thing.
I saw that, and I was
not the $10 billion that it makes every 4 years.
And to make sure Gianni Infantino, who is one of the most hated people on the planet right now, seems gets more votes so he can stay on as FIFA president.
Before the show, I looked at Dan Cabbie's seriously?
When known con man and former FIFA president Sepp Blatter is owning you with his takes on Twitter, it's gotten pretty bad for Mr. Infantino.
That was my WTF me moment.
It was? Oh, him taking shots at Infantino?
No, the whole rings. I know we shouldn't be surprised by anything, especially in life, or every organization is trying to make money, but the rings, really? Okay. I don't know what they're going for or what they will go for, because I should have not been surprised by this since they're selling pieces and blades of grass, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe Gary Trent Jr. can buy some with his new contract that's not caused any controversy at all. Sarcasm if you haven't seen this.
So there is a, for my What the Hell Friday?
Yeah.
There's a T-shirt that was made that's gone viral over the last couple of days. And for a hater like myself of Cristiano Ronaldo, I found it to be the funniest T-shirt I have ever seen in my entire life. Andy, do we have the video here? It is pretty incredible that somebody made this. Essentially, what's happened is they put a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo raising his hand up like this, and then you wear a World Cup necklace, and it just looks like the World Cup is forever just out of reach of Cristiano Ronaldo's grasp.
Oh, wow. That's a legendary troll. Wow. That's outstanding.
Because, of course, he will never win a World Cup. I think it's pretty genius.
I'm now
it's
going
incredible.
to buy you this for your birthday instead of the dragon that the Jays have been using for the home runs. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's like reaching for the title in a ladder match, but he just can't quite get it, even though it's like, it's right there.
The ring.
Just grab it. It's right there.
So in the video,
No,
somebody's wearing a chain with the World Cup, and it's just kind of dangling along the neckline, just out of the reach of Ronaldo's, and it's very, very clever. That's excellent. That's excellent.
Great troll job.
That is.
So one real quick note about the World Cup final that's taking place this weekend. If you're Leo Messi, it's wild that the final boss is a 19-year-old phenom. And if you're Lamine Yamal, the final boss for you is a 39-year-old a godlike figure who is the height of Yoda. Yeah. And that's the. I mean, I know I'm just like keying in on the superstars of this game, but what a final boss for each of those two men in this. It feels like a Hollywood. Who do we have on yesterday, Dan? Or you mentioned the Dan Campbell pregame. What was it? 8 espressos
coffee
or
order.
Something like his coffee order. Oh yeah, we had Trevor Thompson. It feels like whoever's writing this script did the Dan Campbell pregame, like the game day routine with 8 espressos, because like this is like the wildest or one of the wildest scenarios. These two with the photo that emerges 20 years later. Are we in a simulation? But here we are, the World Cup final in MetLife with Lamine Yamal versus Leo Messi and others in this potentially classic final matchup. It's going to be awesome.
The first competing stars.
I hope it's not 1-0 though. Jeez.
Lionel Messi will be the first star to have bathed the star on the other side. of the field.
I'm going to censor myself right now.
Well, okay, fair. Bro, how big is the stat? Like, are they going to build a 400-foot statue of Leo Messi in Buenos Aires if this mother bleeper wins the world? Like, how high?
This guy.
You know, in Rio, they have, like, the Christ the Redeemer statue, like, up on a mountain. Like, the Messi statue could be similar in height because he is, he is so revered in Argentina. That's...
He's the greatest athlete that's ever lived. I mean,
no,
yeah,
come on,
yeah,
Dan.
he is.
No one is greater than Usain Bolt. No one is greater than Usain Bolt.
Joey Chestnut.
In the oldest sport in the world, which just run from here to there, Usain Bolt is the greatest of all time. I'll
you'll take Usain Bolt.
You know what?
I'm taking Usain versus the field.
What Messi's doing at 39 is just, it's honestly mind-boggling. To even be, for a long time, people are like, oh, you can't play in Major League Soccer and still compete on the world stage at the same level. I mean, he's gotten better at 39 while being the star of Major League Soccer. He is, he's everything. And he kind of looks unassuming. Obviously, when you see him play, it's wildly different than what he just looks like as a 5'6" male with, not the most athletic looking features. Whereas, the guy that he's been compared to his entire career, Cristiano Ronaldo, looks like he was built in a lab. You know what I mean? And Messi is just able to do things that blow your mind. You don't have to be a soccer savant or have watched a million soccer matches in your life to just see this guy, the way he moves in tight spaces, the moves he makes, the way he's able to dribble around opponents with such ease and grace. It's amazing what he's been able to do. And if he's able to pull the upset on Sunday, because yes, Argentina is a pretty big underdog against this Spain team that dominated France, who were thought to be the best team in the tournament. And Spain was like, no, actually, we're the best team in the world. If they're able to pull off this upset, Messi is just growing a trophy cabinet and a career resume that will never be matched. It'll be impossible to match what he's been able to do through his career.
What I took out of that is wonderful, but also I forgot he was such a shorty. I forget every time that I'm the same time.
What are you saying about me, Lindsay?
I'm saying you're awesome, Dan,
Yes.
and I completely disagree with both of you on your take of greatest athlete of all time. We will pick this conversation up on
Joey
Monday.
Chestnut, are you
No, I'm not serious about Joey
Chestnut?
Chestnut. That's not who I think, but I don't agree with either of you. But I can't wait to see what happens Sunday. We will discuss this on Monday and everything else in between, and hopefully we'll be discussing Vladdy hitting a bunch of home runs.
Yes!
Thank you for joining us for this week on Off the Roster. We'll see you on Monday, crew. I agree to that.
Thank you for joining us on the live stream. We have much more on the Off the Roster YouTube channel. Interviews, shorts, reels, post-game clips. If you need that Toronto sports fix, we got you.